the new people who have never been here, this is a competition, okay? We have rules here. This is a competition of discourse, okay? Poet going against poet for a cash prize. All of those people, they get a 6 inside their scoring. They got to get from the box. And crowd, make sure you tell us up here, the box, they scored a 6. So, make it fun, Are y'all ready for the first poet? Yeah. Please welcome to this stage, number 6, Miss Brittany Archer from Visalia.
She looked at you and begged you to take her being because she knew that you were supposed to make her feel like a beautiful rose. And yet you didn't know her favorite flower was a calla lily, burnt orange with rustic edges because it looked like her grandfather's fading memory. The reason why she cried in front of you for hours, losing him at 10 years her junior on a holiday that she now only wears black for. She ran to your open arms trying to find her place, but she should have looked to the Father because you bathed her in idiosyncrasies. And you broke her the most, the one who held her inside of you. You drowned her in lies that you should have shielded her from, and yet the love you thought you would carry for a lifetime disappeared the moment you got tired of her hungry cries. You, who was supposed to mold her, shape her, hold her. Tim, just love her. Turned your nose up into the air and left her without a parent because her father had already left. And you wonder why she has trouble holding on to love. You told her that she wasn't beautiful, but you don't see her like I do. Her brown eyes dance like the stars changing season, and even with the burden of your hate, they still sparkle. Her freckles felt radiant when connected by the kisses of her lover. The glow when he is around her should be there when you smile at her, yet she tries to hide the black and blue bruises with long sleeves and makeup. And you wonder why she doesn't give a shit that you think he isn't worthy, because you were never worthy, because you gave up when she put up a fight that knocked you into the gutter, because you realized she was priceless and that you fucked up, that there is scorn in her blood, regret and shame drip off her lips as she calls you mother. And you know you pushed her away, the one person who would have loved you endlessly if you had been honest about trying to abort her, about the scarlet letter you bore from the infidelity of your marriage, making her the bastard, the consequence of the big mistake that you can't bear to look at. She sees you for the monster you are, and yet she still chooses to love despite you telling her how much you constantly abhor her existence. And the tattoo of the anchor on her back that says, I refuse to sink surrounded by calla lilies is proof that someone, somewhere once loved her. Someone does love her, and he calls her sunshine. Thank you.
Give it up for Brittany Archer. All right, judges. Y'all ready for the next poet? Yeah. Here comes number 1 on the card list. You liked him earlier, you'll like him again, Mr. Mario Manganiello.
I suffer from dyslexia, like brain anorexia. My mind knowledge can't be fed, it's like it's dead or even malnourished. But when I get on the mic, I flourish. It's called ADD, my attention definitely disorderly. Looked at as stupid, but I always knew this wouldn't be easy. Some act sleazy, they say I'm slow, but I spit educated flows. Hit harder than body blows, leave them with a broken nose. Some teachers had love for me like preachers, letting me know how to be educated. That was clearly stated. Kids said that I was in the stupid class, but I would just laugh. I may learn on a slower path, but my dreams still attached. In a way, being a little mentally disabled really did enable me to open my eyes and see those who truly have stupidity. People might think that they're better, but they never been through stormy weather. All they did was grow up rich. That doesn't mean shit. Come to where I'm from and survive it. Silver spoon in their mouth so they have no doubts. I express problems with my lyrical shouts, like racism or racial collision, whether black or white. We can all gather under one mic. All use our minds so we can all shine. Never be declined. That's why I chose writing rhymes. It can be hectic when you're dyslexic, but I will be respected. I'll never ever be neglected.
Mario Manganiello. All right, judges, let's see what you give him. Y'all ready for the next poet? Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Just last week. Last week. I did a nice little thing with her with the poetry down in Visalia. So I'm sure you're going to really dig her. Miss Rachel Ramos.
If you have to choose between money and time, you should always choose time. Because money can be made up later. Time can't. My aunt would tell me this while she was a starving college student in her 40s, because she had finally pursued her degree in history and environmental interpretation to become a Yosemite Park ranger and go on starving in the forest that she loved. I should have listened to her because she knew a few things about making wrong decisions and having wasted time. She got married to please her father, to a man that was picked by her father, but she always knew it was not meant to be. She was not meant to be married to a man at all, but she had to spend 6 years figuring out that she didn't want the same things for herself that her father did. When she first kissed a woman, it was on a perfect night, flooded with moonlight, watched over by sleeping giants. The Awani meadow swayed as a body in the breeze that was just cool enough to invite embrace. Even with Half Dome and Glacier Point glowing white for the moon to distract the rare nocturnal valley visitor, she and her shared a piece of their souls at the tree line to be shielded from ridicule or danger. But the price of safety and anonymity was too high. My aunt came out of the proverbial closet, not with flannel and androgyny, but the same as we had always loved her, except with happiness. Even then, it took over a decade for her to follow her bliss and permanently reside in a town called Fish Camp, educating the world about the national park that held her heart. Will I wait another decade or more to follow her example? I'm a natural-born academic with the soul of an artist. I'm fed by beautiful words, but I'm forced to subsist on A essays and lesson plans. All these years, the starving artist has been within me, lacking flowery prose and free verse. Sure, the occasional villanelle or short lyric would cruelly give it hope of seeing sunlight, but every time it was forced back into a dark corner of my mind, left to starve again. I write every day, none of it beautiful, but for a judgment. If I am judged well by this authority, then I can be judged well by that authority, which will help me get paid well by some other authority. What's the point? I teach to be slightly less poor than if I were a writer. I work for security and lose something beyond value. I pay with the life of my starving artist that should be flourishing. The artist within me, my soul itself, must wither and dissolve while I pay rent.
All right, judges, let's see what you have. How y'all doing out there tonight? Woo! Y'all liking this already? Woo! All right, y'all ready for the next poet? Yeah. Please welcome to this microphone, Mr. Roy Kamen.
I want you. Matter of fact, I need you. I need you like Kobe needs a good team to thrive. I need you like life support so I'm dying, I can still feel alive. I need you when my life is getting damp. You're water to me and my life is catching cramps. I need you and I can't wait much longer. I need to abuse you like steroids. With you, I feel much stronger. I need you because the feelings you'll give me I need to obtain, and the memories we can make together be worth 1,000 words. Quick, let's pose for the frame. And I'm willing to do anything for you, so what's your price? And no, I'm not talking about, the only time I'm fame, I'm talking about something much more precious. I'm talking about you, success. So wherever you are, can you please meet me halfway, because I'm done and still doing any and everything to get to you. I work very hard. I work so hard that my hard work hates me. If it wasn't a fight to the death, my hard work wouldn't want to face me. I'm afraid that success isn't afraid of me because she won't give in to me. I call success a she because I'm feeling for it. I lust for it, for her. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's her that applies all this pressure. You know, this pressure to be something more than just another statistic. Speaking of statistics, which to me is just a bunch of people who don't know what it is to struggle with an opinion, they say women at my age should be or will be on drugs, selling drugs, in jail by age 25, 6 feet under Wale. So I guess I'm running out of time. If I only have to end, then success gets love affair going because I only got 5 to 6 decades. The thought of such gives me a headache. But my mother tells me, Roy, be calm, be patient, it all happen in time. Well, mother, time is taking its time, and time is something I do not have because for every person you got to kick out to put me down and to make them mad. Let me put you in a big house. I have 2 sisters that need my help. So success, can you please stop running from me? I not only need you for myself, but I need you for the family. I need to show everybody who said that I can, and I will because the will of my heart will allow me to turn apart like the many others who have tried. By telling me lies, I made me cry, and I stopped asking why, and I started asking when. Like, when did you decide I'd grow up to be nothing just like my father? Well, let me tell you, I've seen your father and one the same because they're both cowards. And since when was it okay for you to judge a 13-year-old me for being the flower when at age 31 you're an auntie to 3 kids, and it's like you're their father? And to the auntie that told me in the 4th grade I wouldn't pass, I did that and some, so you can kiss my... I'm sorry to laugh, those things right there make me happy because those are little victories. See, I'm a big dreamer, and a dream is being part of history. And when I do it big, it'll never be a mystery of why. Because I thrive and I push and I fail, but oh well, I'm an angry kid filled with this energy called something to prove. So you're standing between me and success, I suggest that you move.
All right, judges, you got something to think about. What a good night tonight. Just like a verbal fight. You know? Beautiful. All the way from Visalia, South Valley, representing proud Beat Town. Please welcome. Are you ready for the next poet? Michael Hasso.
He was baptized under the spotlights, and he carries his guitar the same way Jesus did his cross for all our sins. Every new song he writes is a prayer, a dedication, and his hymnal is the tattered notebook he keeps in his back pocket. Every Friday night, he is at his altar, beginning his opening prayer with a riff that you would proclaim came from above. Because tonight is the Sabbath, and I am willing to bend at the knee and take communion from a musician. And I believe. So call me a rebel, call me a sheep. Turn your blind eyes and send me your shame. As long as he can call me disciple, I am a first-hand witness to his miracle. And like a faithful disciple, I spread the word of my holy rolling preacher who opened my eyes to the 10 Commandments. Our Sabbaths are painted black, and our stairway to heaven and the highway to hell is balanced along the same basenet. Our New Testament was Motorhead, Metallica, Stones, Thin Lizzy, Judas Priest, Van Halen. Can I get an amen? Amen! So it came to no surprise to me when he committed self-crucifixion by tying his E-string around his throat. It only took a couple of Pharisees to tell him he would never make it big. So I send out this opening prayer. Sleep now, teacher. Your message will be spread, and I'll be waiting at your altar when you rise again. Thank you.
All right, judges.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Too much. Y'all ready for the next poet? Please welcome to this microphone, Emilio Craig.
We live like this, within this, where life is rented and freedom is bought, where liberty is a bustling jailhouse and hope is a blood stain fading into the side of a bank. We live through this, with this world where the purchasable minds of children rot through their teeth, where bodies are broken and sold piecemeal, and the seed is patented and possessed, where the debtor is the new slave and the creditor is the new slaveholder. The eyes turn toward the heaven, pining for poetic justice, and the eyes turn toward the gun, the drug, and the mad fix for relief, and relief will come. Relief will come in a frenzy of riots in the streets, where the rich share their last meal and the poor turn to cannibalizing their forefathers. The cries of our children will be silenced by stamping soldiers and whistling bullets. The lands of our fathers will be as the bodies of our mothers, broken, sterile, and starved. But relief will come. Relief will come when the ocean opens its mouth and swallows our remaining tributes, our trash and our filth, and the irradiated war-weary world buries her dead in fallout. And there will be the most beautiful peace never heard, non-negotiable and unconditional. The weary horizons will open up, yawn, and breathe the sunlight upon the earth anew, owner-free, innocent, clean, and pure, waiting to live again. Thank you.
Judges, please write down your scores. Raise them up nice and high. So number 3 on our list, please give a nice round of applause for Lindsay McCormick. Lindsay.
Living with any disorder isn't easy because simply living isn't easy. Sometimes the panic starts in the most terrible situation, starts as a sudden desire to scream, and ends with a fatal car crash down my spine. My breathing seems to be a burden in these minutes. I mean, I'm on the bus when I'm being brutally hit like this. I can't swallow, I can't say a damn word, I'm the only one drowning in imagined waters, and because of this, there is no one there to help me. Welcome to having an anxiety disorder. I am nothing like I try hard to be, calm and collected, shy but stable. My insides are a catastrophe of hidden chaos, a symphony of people being unwillingly ripped from me, a world where you wake up in the morning and see all the vibrant colors of life only for that to be stolen by a darkness that even the strongest flashlight cannot guide you through. I am obsessed with death, so obsessed that I have imagined every single person I have been close to in their deathbed, and I have sunk my teeth into the taste of these dreams over and over again. This is why it's okay if any ex-boyfriend raises his eyebrows and mumbles the word insane next to the question of my name. I cannot act like it's not true. I can't sleep at night without an Ambien. I can't function at work properly without a Klonopin or Ativan, because dry heaving over dead heroin addicts that you loved is not considered regular. Most people I talk to have no idea about this because it makes me seem more like an addict than the ones I'm mourning over. You know, I just want to live forever. I want my son to live forever. I want you and your families to live forever. I don't want to die. I don't want to die, but then sometimes I do. Getting out of bed sometimes is a damn victory march, and believe me, I salute every single one of us that has endured heart-sinking defeat and still use our feet to go on walking through our days, hearts as heavy as brick houses. Just because your head is down doesn't mean you're trying, you're surviving. I have looked death himself in the eye, the one man that has destroyed me without touching me, just slightly brushing me, and I almost uttered those two words, take me. But instead, I swallowed my sadness and washed my face and said, no, I'm not ready. And I want every single one of us that know what that feels like to be able to say the same. We should be celebrating that we are right here, right now. That there's still love left in us, around us. Look at your skin, it has been touched. Look at your face, it has smiled. And whether we have loved but it was lost, we are still loving. We are going to stride along like a parade of the brave that did not take that razor blade and cut our wrists, straight that curtain around our neck, take that bottle of pills. We are still here. I am alive. You are alive. We are fucking alive today. And this poem is asking you, begging you to celebrate. Raise your glass, your hand, your head. You need to always remember there is someone out there that loves you, and that every ending is just making some room for something brand new. And I'm here for all of you.
All right, judges, please write down those scores.
This young lady right here, for number 9, I cannot say enough about this young woman. She has come on to this scene, and when she's here, she blows it away. And I'm sure she's got something going on tonight that I'm excited to see. And what's really special, it's her birthday. Please welcome, better yet, are y'all ready for the next poet? The one, the only, Miss Shelley Fairbanks.
For your information, it was my birthday on Wednesday.
It's her birthday
I'm 16 finally. This one's called Band-Aids. When I was a young girl, every time I tripped and fell, my mother would look at my hands, elbows, and knees. If I was cut, she would hand me a Band-Aid and tell me to be careful. While my grandma would look at me no matter the cuts on my elbows and say, nothing's broken, she's fine, and send me off again because my grandma is a tough woman. She rides horses and doesn't let her age define her ability. My mother is a tough woman. She raises 3 kids and doesn't let the lack of a husband get in the way of her doing so. But yet, despite these 2 being in my life, I am not a strong woman. After my father left, my mother pulled me out of school early to go to a place I'd never seen before. They sat me down in a room with some paper and crayons and told me to draw how I was feeling as a woman, asked me questions. She asked my mom some things, and my mom pointed out that I would cry over every little thing, which was true in those days. I went one more time, and both times that woman I didn't know told me to pull back on the reins. Back then, I didn't know that the woman I was talking to was a therapist, but I told my mother I didn't need one because I thought I was tough enough. But now that I'm older with more life experience, I realize I might need one more than ever, but for different reasons now. I've never talked to a doctor about disorders or depression, but I don't need a man with a clipboard to tell me that there is something wrong with hating yourself. And I don't need cuts on my wrists to tell me that I am not as happy as I could be. But people seem to think that I need visible scars and a permanent frown to be allowed to say I have a problem, because apparently I don't look the part. But if you look closely, I have dark circles under my eyes from the countless nights of sitting alone with a laptop, because I had found a website called The Thoughts Room where I could type in all my problems and they would disappear from the screen, an animation of crumbling and falling that I found to be of comfort. If you see me at home, you'll see a box and a jar, a box full of things that I love, little notes from my friends I've collected over the years, small notebooks of thoughts and things that are soft to the touch, a jar with a silk ribbon and a tiny light tied around it, half full of white paper stars. Because I had been told that you could put wishes in them. But after I had made so many, I could no longer think of any more wishes. I simply made them because it was calming. I brought strips of paper to school so I could make them when I felt stressed, and my teacher told me it was such a Michelle thing to do. I don't know why, but I suppose he's right. My thoughts room, my box, my paper stars, these things are what I keep for when I feel the pressure, the weight of my own thoughts, the ache of knowing it would be so easy to give in, but I'm always afraid of people would think if I started wearing thicker bracelets. If my mother would bother listening to me if I said I wanted help. But now that I'm older, I don't have my mother keeping her close eye on me, ready with a Band-Aid and to be careful. Now I have what I need in my back pockets. My poems, my stars, my notes, my own Band-Aids, my own be carefuls. Thank you.
Judges, please write down your scores, raise them up nice and high. Are y'all ready for the next poet? Warms my heart every time. Please give it up for Seth Simon.
Style of my poems, everybody has a life story. Everybody has a life story. Some are exciting and some are boring. Like a soldier in Vietnam fighting for our freedom, barely making it out alive, later receiving a letter asking for divorce by his unfaithful wife. Or a black person in Chicago trying to make it to the BA, but blowing out his knee in the fourth quarter of the championship game. A man that stands alone, minds his business every single day, gets beaten all the time just because he chooses to be gay. Now what about the mother of 5 loving children, diagnosed with breast cancer and a death card, having to spread her ashes, her children, and do it across the entire backyard? Now I heard a story. I heard a story from a 17-year-old young man. He tells me he's scared every single day of his life, thinking that to come back and never leave him alone. The images know what frighten him, but the thousands of voices that gnaw on him like a bone. His father, a bipolar schizophrenic. For 14 years, he knew he had that certain gene. Never did he thought the day would come where he would hear voices so clearly. All he was doing was smoking weed one day, till he noticed he got way too pissed and he sighed. That was the day that would come, that was the day he should have gave his life a kiss goodbye. 2 months later, he broke down to his mother, yelling and crying. He says, "I hear voices!" His mother rushed him to the hospital, as the doctors gave him a couple choices. In and out of mental hospitals, taking medicine every single day, wanting to kill himself several times, thought his life was over and done with. You would too if you had multiple minds. He wanted to meet his father for the first time. So listen to me and get this. I've said this before, a 15-year-old boy flew all the way to Texas. He never got to meet his father, but when he tried being a good son, his dad told him to get lost as he pulled out a 12-gauge shotgun. He'll never forget the day he saw his father in handcuffs and his chances blown. He just stared the boy down in blank emotion. Mom was right, he lacked a mind of his own. In this story, well, I don't even know what to say. Ever hear the saying, like father, like son? To this day, that boy just prays, praying for a better life. He looks to the sun. That's the story of the 17-year-old young man. I'm not sure if this is the right timing, but that bipolar schizophrenic, his name is Seth Simon.
All right, judges, write down your scores, raise them up nice and high. Are y'all ready for the last poet?
It is 7:30 a.m. on M Street and in you. And every song blaring out of the car stereo is singing your name, happiness. I drive up the parking structure, swerving around each tight corner, dancing in my seat. Ooh, my seatbelt is holding me back down, because I want to dance right out the window. I'm half expecting to hear your voice say, "Slow down, mommy, you're driving way too fast, slow down." But I'm suddenly blinded. The orange and yellow glow of early morning autumn sunshine is reflecting in the windows of the high rise. And it's slowly seeping into my mind. I step out of the car, vibrating with the last song off of my hips and off of every single curly tip touching my shoulders. I am dressed in electric blue today. Look at me, I'm shining for everyone to see, and I want to say hello to everybody. I'm dance walking into the office, high on this music, high on this rhythm of you, happiness. I'm compelled to say good morning to everyone brushing by me with coffee mugs and lunch bags tightly gripped. These rushing people glance up at me, startled smiles creeping out from their waking lips. I know each greeting must sound like a song. I know I can hear it because the singing is ringing in my ears. And from the looks I get, I can see it. It's a siren song. I'm making you happy. But there's no stopping this feeling from being loud and heard because you cannot quiet down pure joy. No, you can't. Woo! And I'm feeling so good because when you feel this happy, you have to find the time. You have to find the time to sing it loudly before you lose the tune, before you lose the inspiration and it's all gone. And that early, beautiful morning glow is going to turn into just an average afternoon. And I won't let it happen because I'm singing your name, baby. I'm singing your name, and I am amplified.
All right, judges. That was the first round. What do you think? My goodness. Great poetry in this first round. But now, this is where it's going to get complicated because now we do the cutoff. There will be eliminations. So when we come back in the second round, only 5 move on.